Hello guys, my name is Aditya and today we'll be talking about data visualization using Seaborn library in Python. Okay, uh, here we'll be discussing what are the different types of plots. Here are 8 given plots, right? These are the different types of plots that we'll be discussing and how can we use them? What are the codes for these kind of plots? Sorry, and when can we use them, in which situation which plots will be used. Okay, and by the end we'll be also exploring a little bit about matplotlib library. Okay, that will help us in merging multiple plots and also resizing and labeling and also using the legends of the plots. Okay, so we'll be covering this towards the end. So let's get started with line plot and bar plot. Today we'll be covering line plot and bar plot. Okay, so first of all, I have already imported this pandas library, and along with it I have imported this seaborn library. Okay, now I imported pandas because we need to read some data sets through which we'll be plotting some data, okay, using this seaborn library. Now, so let me just import a dataset. The dataset that I'll be using here is given in the description below. Go and download it and also open a notebook like this so that you can try along with me. You try along with me, you learn a lot. If you don't, you might lose this over time. So let me just get data is assigned to, let me just write dataset, okay? Dataset is assigned to pd dot read CSV. This is how we read a CSV file, right? Now here I'll be using iris dot csv. I'll be using the iris dataset, and let me just print dataset dot head. Okay, so this is the first few rows of the dataset. See, here we have the species column, but for using this line plot and bar plot we will not need this species column. Okay, so I will just remove this species column. Now, how to remove the species column, we have already covered this in pandas. If you are not much familiar with pandas, uh, search for pandas directly after this video. The link will be given here. Okay, you can search it after this video. First of all, watch this video. Insert cell below. So what we can do to drop a column from a dataset, we can directly write dataset dot drop, and then drop is a function, right, which takes first parameter as whatever we want to drop, single column or a multiple column. So we want to drop species. This is a single column. If you want to drop multiple columns, then we can separate it by comma and then give the column name here, so it will work fine. Okay, and it is a column, so we need to use axis is assigned to 1. If it was a row, that means if we were deleting the first row, then we would have given axis is assigned to 0. Okay, so 1 is for columns, 0 is for rows, and in place is assigned to true. We have discussed all of these things in pandas, so do check it out. Okay, now this will remove the data this species column from this data set, and it will retain whatever it has not removed. Okay, it will retain these things except the species column. Everything else will be retained. That's why we have used in place is assigned to true. Okay, now let us print dataset dot head and let's see what happens. So the species column is removed now, right? Now line plot, see, we'll be first doing line plot. So line plot shows the variation with respect to time. So with respect to time, or you can also say with respect to the rows. Okay, like the sepal length with respect to the rows. So what we can do is, how can we write line plots, like sns dot line plot, and in the x-axis we want these column numbers to be there, sorry, row numbers to be there. So how can we get the row numbers? Data dot index, this will give all of the row numbers. Okay, and In the y-axis we want the sepal length, or maybe sepal width, or maybe petal length. For now let us consider the sepal length. Okay, so data dot sepal length. Okay, so if we do this, then it will show us a line plot. Data set, sorry, not data, data set. So this is showing us the variation from column number 0 to column 150. Okay, 149. So this is the variation in sepal length. The lowest sepal length is below 4.5 and the highest is above 7.5, just below 8. Okay, so this is how we can view the variation with along with the rows. Generally what happens is the rows, in most of the data, the time related data, okay, these row numbers are actually dates or times. Okay, and the values are here, so it shows the variation with respect to date or time. Okay, so it shows trends with respect to time. Whenever you want to see a trends with respect to the time or the rows, then you can use line plot. Okay, now I've okay, I think it's fine for now. I'll show you something interesting towards the end about this line plot. Okay, so stay tuned. Now coming to bar plot. uh, okay, let me just show you this line plot. If we don't write x and y, and we directly give data is assigned, sorry, data is assigned to the complete data set is assigned to the complete data. Okay, so whatever is there in the data set, show the trend. Okay, so this will give us something like this. It has 4 number of columns which is given here, and there are fixed 150 rows, right, from 0 to 149. So the petal width is given by the red color. This green color shows the petal length. This blue color shows the sepal length, and the orange color shows the sepal width. So this is how you can compare the data with respect to time. This is not seen useful here because these are just the row numbers, but when you compare it with a time data, a timeline kind of data, okay, it will be really useful. Like, say, let's say the stock prices. Okay, the stock prices in 1996 was this much, and maybe in some other year it went high and it went low some later time. So this can be seen easily by using line plots. Okay, so this is the main function of line plot. Now what is a bar plot? We want to see the average variation column wise. Okay, it shows relationship among columns. So let me just show you sns dot bar plot. This is how we draw a bar plot, right? And if we give data is assigned to data set, then see, this is this is showing the average variation column wise. There are multiple columns, right? And this is the average variation. How can we be so sure that this is the average variation? Okay, let me just write np dot mean. This is how we get the average, right? np dot mean of data dot sepal length, not data again, it's dataset dot sepal length. np is not defined. Okay, I have not imported numpy here. Import numpy as np. So it is showing 5.84 something, right? So it is nearly 5.84. Okay, so this is the variation. This is the variation, average variation with respect to columns. So you can compare these columns. That is why it is showing the relationship among columns. So whenever you want to see some kind of relationship among variables, okay, then you can use bar plot. There are many other plots that shows relationship. Bar plot is also one of them, and we'll be exploring many other plots that shows relationship. But this line plot, this is the only plot that shows variation with respect to time. That means it shows trends with respect to time. Okay, so this is the only plot which can show trends with respect to time, and relationship with respect to columns or variables can be shown by many other plots. So we'll be exploring it soon. So I hope you understood what is a bar plot and a line plot, and how you can draw this bar plot and line plot. So this was enough for today. We'll be covering rest of the sections in other videos, okay, in the subsequent videos. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day ahead. If you actually like the video, hit the like and the subscribe button. Also share it with your friends. So bye bye. Take care.